Hello and welcome back for part 4. This time around I plan on swapping this text here out with a checkbox so you can check it to mark it as done or not done. So that's the plan. And I'm going to have to modify the list controller. The specific column we want to insert a checkbox instead, and then we want to add some functionality to that checkbox, so whenever I click it we change the completed status of a to-do and also update it. So let's see if we can make that happen. Alright, I'll start with commenting out this one. I need to set a different cell value factory, and I'm going to say here it doesn't contain a boolean, but now it contains a checkbox. And then we say status column. We want to add or set the cell value factory again. But instead of a property value, we are going to create something different. It's called a new callback. This one probably, and we can see that well, there's a cell data features, something with a to-do and a checkbox, so it knows about my to-do object and checkbox, and we have an observable value here, the checkbox. So that's probably a good start. I'll just rename that. And well, we need to return an observable value of type checkbox here. So I'm going to first create a new checkbox equals new. Alright. Then the argument we're getting here is the specific to-do item for that specific row in the table. So I have a to-do, we'll just do it like this here, to-do equals arg value. And I want to set the status of this checkbox to be the value of my to-do completed. So either checked for true or unchecked for false. So we say checkbox set select. Maybe we want a selected property, set value. We are working with observable values, and I think if I use the selected property, then the GUI should be updated also, perhaps, hopefully. We'll see how this goes. To do, get completed. Okay. So now we've set the status, or the state, I guess, of the checkbox. I want something to happen whenever I click the checkbox. So we say checkbox, come on, there we go, selected property. Can I just do like this, add? No. So I want to add a listener to the selected property, sort of like the observer design pattern. I can add listeners here to this subject, and I can then write some code that reacts to whenever the checkbox is clicked. So we add listener, and we want new change listener, not the invalidation one, but the change listener. And we can see that it works with a boolean. So I'm getting the actual checkbox. Okay, I'm getting the old boolean, and I'm getting the new one for T1 here. So I'll just rename this old value, and this one here is new value, just for clarity. Okay, so it's getting a bit complicated here, but not really sure what all this is. It's an interface callback. We need that for the column. We are saying that this column should contain checkboxes, and I'm specifying here what should happen when I click on a checkbox. Come on. So we want we want, what do we want? We want to say the to-do value here, the to-do object for that specific row. We want to set the completed status to be the new value. Okay. Then we also need to, I'll just write a to-do here first, to-do update to-do. I need down here, well, I need to return a checkbox. Not that one, the lowercase, that one. Oh, sorry, it's an observable value with a checkbox, so we need a new simple object property. And I give it the checkbox, and it contains, well, that's inferred that it contains a checkbox. So the simple object property here contains the checkbox. It's getting interesting. Let's just start here and see if this works so far. Printing out here. So whenever I click any checkbox, we should be able to see this printout in the console. Well, I have a checkbox, that's good. I can probably set the formatting of the column to make it so that the checkbox is in the middle. We're printing something out whenever I click a checkbox. Okay, good start. Nothing is saved yet, so if I were to restart the program, all of them would be false once again. So what I need to do in here is say I need to say to my view model that it should update a specific to-do. Okay. It is a little bit more complicated than what JavaFX would probably want us to do, because as far as I can tell in JavaFX examples, then my model classes, in this case my to-do, would not just contain simple types here, but would instead contain properties, so an integer property, string property, boolean property, and so on. And if I were to do that, then I could take the property here and bind it together with the property in the to-do. But because I don't have that property, I need to add the listener so I can set the value manually. And the reason why I don't have that is these are my domain classes, my model classes, and it feels weird to me to infect them with JavaFX code, meaning that if I were to put properties in here, then my domain classes would be dependent on the JavaFX framework. If I later were to decide that JavaFX wasn't interesting to me, or I didn't like it, or too complicated, or maybe it just was discontinued, and I would have to go back to Swing or some other JavaFX UI, I would have to change stuff that doesn't really have anything to do with the UI. So I'm not a fan of putting the properties in here. So instead we're going to just react to whenever the checkbox is changed. Then we automatically set, or well, not automatically, we manually set the value on the to-do. And then I have to tell my view model that it should update it. I have a list view model, we say update to-do, and this is the to-do we need to update. So we make a method on the view model, update to-do. That means I have to call this on the to-do service and say update to-do. So we're just forwarding here, I'm not doing much. And this one here then goes to my to-do file service, and it should find the existing to-do in the list. Where did we go here? We find it, hopefully, otherwise we get an error. And then we update it, and then we save the changes. and let's see if it happens as expected. So that means I should be able to click a checkbox and then restart the program, and that checkbox is then set. So let's say I have just come back from walking the dog. Okay, I should have printed something out perhaps in the to-do so we can see that we actually reached this part. But let's try and restart the program and see what happens. Walk the dog, that's now checked. Okay, so the update to this specific to-do here is saved to my file, and that is all good, I think. Yep, all good. So I'm just going to clean up here. I don't need that piece of code anymore. You can see this here is gray, indicating that we can do something with it. I can Alt enter it and replace with that. I don't know, callback? No. Okay, so we can collapse all of that, because these things here can be inferred from this up here. Okay. Alternatively, we can change it with a lambda expression. That looks, well, I think this looks a little bit cleaner. So we're saying we're setting some stuff, and that's basically this that we are getting out of here. So it's a bit shorter. Okay, let me just commit this to GitHub. To-dos can have their status changed, and then I want to show that on my GitHub I have tried to create different branches so that you can see for each part of the videos or in the series how did the code look. Because if you were to look at the first or second part where we did this view here, the list controller project, right? The list where we can see all the to-dos. Then after that part, the code, well, this obviously wasn't here, and so if you were to look at part 2 and then go and check on GitHub, and you will be wondering why does it look different. Maybe that's confusing. Maybe you want to be able to see what it looked like before. So I just cleaned up some more code. I just push it again, but that means I want to show you that on my GitHub. Here I have the master, which contains part 1, 2 and 3, but this here, change status, that's then not existing. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, that was because I had a file open. I had the readme file open, and if I try to have that open and go to change status, then that file is not in this branch. Okay, so we can go and look at the other one here in the, no, not core, in the view and the list controller. We can see that in the master branch it looks like before this video, but if I want to go and take a look at the change status, it looks like after this video. So the idea is to have a couple of branches for each part of the video series, so you can go and check out the different pieces of the code at different times during the tutorial or walkthrough or whatever here. Okay, what do we want to do next? I think the next step is going to be adding another view to update a to-do. Maybe I want to edit the description of a specific to-do. Maybe I want to edit this one, finish to-do example, but maybe it should have been called finish to-do project. So I will add another column with a little edit button. I think that will be the plan for the next video. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.